good shot. Oh my!
Here to celebrate Georgetown, the Georgetown Raiders are Buckland Cup champions!
The Trenton Golden Hawks, the R7 Hewitt Cup champions, are going to Cobourg.
Back to Minerva. Shot scores! And the Cobourg Cougars are the Royal Bank Cup champions!
The rematch. Last time Markham faced Aurora, the Royals got destroyed 10-3. They were trying for payback Saturday night against the Tigers. Highlights coming up later on in the show. This is the OJ Today. Welcome, everyone. I'm Alex Bastiavansky. On this week's show, the top draft eligible players from across the CJHL descended upon the Port Credit Arena on Tuesday for the annual CJHL Prospects game, and we'll have a story on what exactly went down. Also, Kevin Dean has had a front row seat to the resurgence of the Aurora Tigers this year. Now, the team's play-by-play man will join me to chat about what exactly has been working for the squad so far. But first, OJ highlights, and the Orangeville Flyers are really in a life and death struggle right now for that 8th and final postseason spot in the Southwest Conference. Every game for them right now has playoff implications as they scramble for every point they can get, which means they're one dangerous squad, as Oakville found out the hard way last weekend. OJ highlights now brought to you by Cool Sports, official apparel provider to the OJHL.
The Flyers clinging to that 8th and final playoff spot in the Southwest, and they turned a few heads in this game. Blades hit first, though. Spencer Kirsten makes it 1-0 Oakville. Flyers respond, though. Vincent Bonuto takes the feed. He goes roof daddy past Christian Purbu, and it's a 1-1 stalemate. Second period now. Top 5 nominee, former Flint Firebird Eric Uba. A sniper's eye and touch. Nice. Blades back on top, 2-1. Every time Oakville struck, though, Orangeville responded. Eric Theander, nice solo rush and finish. Once again, all tied up, it's 2-2. In the third, the Flyers put the hammer down. It's the Gooch, Nathan Gooch, too strong to handle, and give the Flyers the first lead of the day, and then it's Theander again, biding his time here before pulling the trigger, and the Flyers double their lead to 4-2. The Blades would make it interesting, though. Jack Ricketts right on the doorstep. He pokes it across the line, and the deficit is cut to just 1. But Mason Cyrus puts this baby to bed with the empty netter. So a huge upset as the Flyers grab 2 massive points in their drive towards the playoffs, taking down the powerful Blades by a 5-3 count. One of the teams, Oakville's battling for first. North York taking on the Raiders. Tough game for new G-Town keeper Troy Timpano. Nick Lashuk puts it past him. 1-0 Rangers. Late in the period, Graydon Gottschalk from a tough angle somehow finds daylight there. Rangers lead by a deuce at the break. Second period, the adventures of Timpano continue. He gets caught in no man's land here, and the boys in blue up by 3. That's a tough one to give up. And then Timpano wandering again here. Beautiful little move first, but then that almost fires it in off his own player. Heart attack inducing stuff for Coach Greg Walters. G-Town had its chances, but just it wasn't their night. Colby Muse was solid between the pipes for North York, making 31 saves for the shutout. So the Rangers pick up the 2 points, and they remain neck and neck with both the Blades and Pats in the South. Okay, Whitby on the road against Aurora. Whitby's offense struggling lately. Their defense, they had trouble with the powerful Cats too. Mitzi gets the party started, 1-0 Aurora. The Fury do respond, though. Jason Stashelback burns his old team, and it's all tied up at 1 apiece. Pretty much all Cats from that point on, though. Chris Girardet to Austin Eastman. This guy's been unreal since coming over from Major Junior. 2-1 for the Tigers. Just before the break, Luca Esposito right there on the doorstep to clean up the garbage. Just so many weapons on this Aurora team, and they lead 3-1. Second period action now. New Whitby keeper Alex Horowski's made some huge saves for the Fury. This one, no exception on Monachino. He just got better and better. Top 5 nominee here, flashing the leather to deny Joseph Mitzi. Nice stop. Third frame, Horowski under fire. Nothing he can do here. Austin Eastman, 28 points in 13 games as a Tiger. That's unreal. And he makes it 4-1. The Van Man, Bradley Van Schubert, holding strong at the other end. Nice stop right there on Liam Robertson. But Horowski was just unreal. Top 5 nominee here. Look at the larceny on Anthony Romano as he gets the pad down. That's a fantastic stop. And Whitby did manage to get one back. Stashel back on the doorstep. He notches his second of the game to cut the deficit to 4-2. That's exactly how this one finished up, as the Tigers vying with Newmarket, just a couple points separating those two at the top of the North right now. And that's going to be fascinating to watch down the stretch towards the playoffs. Okay, one more before the break. The Hurricanes traveling to Whitby to face the Fury. 2:43 in. Jackson Savory bulging the twine. 1-0 Newmarket. Skip ahead to the third after a scoreless second. Matt Gorey on the doorstep. He puts it home. 2-0 Canes. And then Owen Ramsey would end all hope for the Fury with the empty netter here. So Whitby suddenly have some silent sticks, just 2 goals in 2 games as they lost both games on the weekend. OJ commitments, and yes, the man, Andrew Petrucci, commits to the RIT Tigers. Andrew's been vying for the OJ scoring lead all year. He's been quite possibly the league MVP. He will be a Tiger in 18-19. Congrats, Andrew. Trivia for this week. Which team won the Buckland Cup in 2011-2012? How's your memory, folks? First correct answer to our Morocco at the OJHL.ca wins an OJ prize pack.
Gates up center, looking to weave his way. Got busy with him. Benetti now's got it busy. Scores! Oh, baby, was that any good? Put that one on the OJ today, Alex. Man.
Yes, we do love our Kevin Dean play-by-play calls here on the OJ today. And after a couple months of trying, he's a busy man. We have the man, the legend, Kevin Dean from the Aurora Tigers. Kevin, welcome to the show, buddy. As mentioned, you are one busy guy. We're glad to finally have you on the show. Welcome.
Thank you, Alex. I appreciate being on the show.
As I mentioned earlier in the show, you've had a front row seat just to a great Tigers team this year, just a great story. I mean, these guys finished second last in the North Division last year. This year, they've been knocking on the door, first place on and off with Newmarket and Markham challenging in that division all season long. Complete turnaround. So you've had a front row seat. What's behind the resurgence this year?
Well, really, it starts at the top with the ownership. Rita and Jim bringing in, professionals like Dermot Anderson, who is the GM for the team, and the moves he's made so far, bringing players in like Eastman and Ferrari and players like that. They've just moved up the ladder, and also the coach Vince Bellissimo and his gang. The players are, following his system, and they're just playing solid hockey, and they're tough to beat.
Yeah, you said a mouthful there. I mean, let's start with one of the biggest acquisitions. I would say the biggest acquisition had to be in the offseason. Veteran forward Jake Bricknell, hot off winning an RBC with the Cobourg Cougars last spring. He's led the team in scoring. He's been vying with Andrew Petrucci of the Patriots for top scorer in the OJ all season long. Talk about Jake and what he's brought to this team.
Well, it's a leadership, and it's intestinal fortitude on the ice. He's only missed one game for the Tigers all year, and each and every shift he gives it 100%. And you can see the players on the bench watching him as he's up and down the ice. And for an example, the other night in Markham, down 3-2, he steals the puck from the defenseman, walks in and buries the twine, and that's it. It's tie game 3-3, and Aurora takes control of the game. So he's what you call a pro hockey player. Absolutely. And not only on the ice but off the ice as well. Absolutely.
And some of the youngsters on the team have definitely had a great example to follow in his footsteps there. One of which is Chris Girardet. I'm just checking the points here as I'm looking down. 43 points in 35 games for defensemen. Remarkable numbers. He's headed to Western Michigan on a scholarship. Talk about Girardet and how he's been on the back line there.
Oh, he's an incredible hockey player. He's a smart hockey player. His head's always up, on a swivel. And he reminds me of a player that I watch a lot down here in Eastern Ontario, Eric Carlson. And again, he's not Eric Carlson, but his style is somewhat the same. And the way they run the power play, 90% of the time Aurora runs their power play through, Chris.
Yeah.
And right now they are sitting, third in the league, 23%. And he just does a fantastic job and a smart hockey player all around.
Absolutely. He's been a lot of fun to watch this year. Another pickup that came after the season had started, a guy who previously played in the OJ, but then he went major junior the past couple seasons in the QMJHL. Austin Eastman, and again, I'm just checking the stats on this. This is unbelievable. 27 points in 12 games so far. So clearly, an offense that was already clicking gets the addition of Austin Eastman, and that's made it even more potent, hasn't it?
Oh, he's an incredible hockey player. And when he came over, I didn't know too much about him. And I was talking to Dermot. I said, "Who is this young lad?" And he says, wait till he hits the ice. He's incredible. And on the power play, stick handling and the way they throw the puck around, he's a pure goal scorer, and the kid can stick handle in a phone booth. He's that good with the puck. On the line with Romano and Bricknell, it's just it's worth the price of admission. He is an incredible hockey player.
Absolutely.
And the Tigers pretty lucky to have him.
As mentioned, it was the case of the rich getting richer, basically, there with that pickup. Goaltending, outstanding this year. Checking it out, 88 goals allowed, which is the second lowest amount on the entire OJHL. And Bradley Van Schubert has been getting most of the starts between the pipes. Talk about the solidness that he's brought to the goalkeeping position in Aurora.
Well, Van Schubert is, again, he's an outstanding goaltender. He squares up to the puck, great rebound control. And one of the keys for the Tigers and Van Schubert is he's like a third defenseman. So when the teams want to dump the puck in, he's trapping it behind the end. And if there's a guy cutting through the middle, the home run pass, he's usually hitting that winger about 95% of the time. So it's just nice to have him on the back end. Not only as a goaltender, but as that third defenseman. Right. But he's also a type of goaltender. He reminds me of Billy Smith. If you want to go to the crease, you will be punished because he'll give it to you. And he's a good one, and his stats don't lie. He is an incredible hockey player, and I look for him maybe down the road. He could play pro in a few years.
Does he bring out the lumber and give them the old Billy Smith chop? Is that what it is there? I mean, boy, the Oilers used to hate that when he did that on Gretzky, didn't they?
On you. And, if you want to go to the paint, you'll pay the price.
He'll pay the price,
and, he is, he does a nice job. Again, his rebound control is outstanding. He's got a glove like no other in the league. You want to go high on him, you better have a hot shot like Bobby Hull, because it's not going to happen. He is a tremendous goaltender. 52
seconds. So can you wrap it up in this time? My question being, this is the 50th anniversary for the Tigers, storied franchise, 2 Royal Bank Cup championships. This is the 50th anniversary. Are the players aware? Are they paying attention to this? Obviously, they know about the rich history of this franchise. And is it even a little bit more of extra incentive for these guys this year, do you think?
Well, the 2 RBC banners hang right over the bench. They see that each and every practice, each and every game, and they know what the pride of the Tigers. And I'll give you another example. When the World Hockey Championships were on, I went into the locker room when Canada was playing the United States, and here's a big guy walking in there, and I almost walked on the carpet, the emblem of the Tigers, and about 5 players jumped on me. Basically said, "Hey, be careful." And so they know, they love their team, and this team is to be reckoned with. And they're built for the Buckland Championship,
big run,
and they know it. They know it. The Tigers know it.
And we're going to have you on again for updates as we go along. Thanks so much for joining us, Kevin, and we'll see you at the rink. More OJ Today coming up in just a moment. Hey folks, welcome back to the OJ Today. As mentioned off the top of the show, Markham was thoroughly embarrassed by Aurora a few weeks back. The two teams have battled tooth and nail for top spot in the North all season long, so their matchup on December 15th was highly anticipated, to say the least. Well, it turned out to be a dud as the Cats destroyed the Royals by a 10-3 count. But revenge, as they say, is a dish best served cold, and Markham was hoping to dish out a bit of that last Saturday.
And this game definitely did live up to the hype. 6:03 in, Jake Bricknell to Matthew Ferrari, and the twine, it bulges. Cats go up 1-0. 6 minutes later, Aurora on the power play. Elijah Gonzalez, the second effort coming up here at the side of the net. Wait for it. There it is. And Tigers leading by a deuce now, but Markham they would roar back big time. Bradley Van Schubert makes the incredible stop here. Watch it coming up as he manages to get the pad up, and that's a great stop, but Lucas Candata right there pokes it in behind him, and the deficit is cut to just 1. And then Alessio Luciani, a great effort out front here, and he fights for it and gets it to go. And they were all knotted up at 2 apiece, and they would notch a 3rd straight. Jack Jeffers from the point. This one will squeak past Van Schubert. Power play goal, and the Royals take their first lead of the game. 2nd period now. Top 5 nominee here, Jake Bricknell. Are you really surprised? He's been the man all year. 1 on 5 basically there, and he still gets it to go. Even Steven. It's a 3-3 hockey game. 3rd period now. Nate McDonald doing all he can between the posts here, but nobody watches Joseph Mitzi. And the Tigers retake the lead 4-3, but back and forth they went all game long. Not 1, not 2, but 3 tries for the Royals here, and yeah, 3rd time, as they say, is a charm. And it's tied again, 4-4. But on the power play, Jake Bricknell once again playing the role of hero. What a wrist shot that is, and that is the game winner. So no revenge for Markham this time, but full marks for the effort. It was a great game. The Tigers win the clash of the Titans by a 5-4 count. Okay, Cobourg jockeying with Trenton for the 6th playoff seed in the Northeast. Royals strike first. Lucas Candata from behind the net. 2 different Cougars can't hold him back. 1-0 Markham. New Cobourg trade deadline acquisition, Matthew Hebert, answers with the wrister from the point, though. And Cougars even it up at 1. 45 seconds later, McDonald wants this one back. Someone call a plumber. He sprung a leak. That's in. Those are killers. Cougars up 2-1. 2nd period, top 5 nominee here, Braden Aubin, just turning on the Jets and willing it in. Love the effort. 2-2. Porous defending here, though, as Ethan Doyle feeds Brody McDougall, who tickles the twine. Cobourg up 3-2. 3rd frame, mostly Cobourg. Jacob Ball actually makes it 5-2 Cougars there, and the teams would trade goals after that, but Cobourg comes up with the big win, 6-3 over the Markham Royals.
Wellington shot out of the gate this season, and they haven't looked back once. The Young Dukes have held first place in the East since day one, and no team in the division has gotten to within 10 points of them for months now. But the North Division has been a whole different story, with 3 teams in a dogfight for first place. The competition has been cutthroat, and Wellington ran into one of those top squads last Thursday, the Newmarket Hurricanes.
And Newmarket jockeying for first in the North with Aurora at the moment. No scoring in the first. Eric Aramita breaks the ice in the second, putting it past Jonah Capriotti, 1-0 Hurricanes. 3rd period now, the Canes add some insurance. The forgotten man out front, Owen Ramsey, puts it home. That's a 2-goal bulge, and that is all they would need. Wellington still has a 6-point lead over Aurora for the #1 seed in the Southwest. But keep an eye on the Canes and Tigers down the stretch. Just saying. This might have been the game of the week. Burlington facing the Patriots. I'm short on time. We'll try to squeeze the whole thing in. Eric Margalis makes it 1-0 Cougars in the first. 2nd period. Nice solo effort by Andrew Gavros here. He splits the wickets on Tyler Fassel to stretch the lead to 2. Colton Kalizik gets the Pats on the board just 20 seconds later to make it 2-1, but the Cougs make it 3-1, and then Mitchell Morrison extends the lead to 4-1. 3rd period, it was crazy. Top 5 nominee is Lee Lapid from his knees. Still gets it to go 4-2 Cougars. Beattown would grab one and make it 5, but then Colton Kalizik goes roof daddy, and it's 5-3. I smell a comeback. New acquisition, Kyler Matthews, one-timer. 5-4, and then Dante Spagnuolo. Oh, yeah. The Pats come back. It's 5-5, but the Cougars say, hold on a second. Josh LeBlanc reaches for the top shelf and finds it. They retake the lead. Late in the frame, though, Nicholas Kalpuzis. Wow. What a game. 6-6. And, yeah, this one went to overtime.
Lost it there, though. Burlington. Best pressures thus far early in this one. Backhand shot. They score! Burlington wins in overtime.
Anthony Regan with the call. What a great game. Okay, OJHL Combine, just a reminder, takes place in April in Oshawa. Players, you can showcase your skills to all OJHL teams, and each player is guaranteed 3 games. For more info, head to ojhlcombine.ca. The standings. Aurora, just a 2-point lead over Newmarket, with Markham trailing in third, and then followed by Pickering, Stouffville, and Lindsay. In the East, Wellington keeping their eye now on Newmarket and Aurora there. First place, 14-point bulge over second place Kingston, though. In the South, it's still a crazy matchup. There is the Pats, 6 points now over North York, who have just a 1-point lead over Oakville. JRC's in fourth, St. Mike's, and then Mississauga. And in the West, Georgetown, a 10-point lead now over second place Buffalo, followed by the Flyers and the Cougars, and Milton in fifth place with 6 points so far.
Hey folks, welcome back to the OJ Today. Well, over the past few years, NHL teams have been increasingly looking at the Canadian Junior Hockey League as a provider of high-end talent. In the past 2 drafts alone, 4 players were taken directly from the CJHL in the first round, a trend that looks sure to continue this season thanks to the Junior Canadians' Jack McBain. Now, the biggest event on the calendar during the season for scouts to assess Junior A players is the CJHL Prospects Game, this year hosted by the Mississauga Chargers. The game went down Tuesday night at Port Credit Arena. Here's more.
The 40 top NHL draft eligible players from across the CJHL. The historic Port Credit Arena in Mississauga. Nearly 1,500 in attendance, including over 200 scouts. Maple Leaf legends Wendell Clark and Rick Five as guest coaches. Yes, the 2018 CJHL Prospects Game was a resounding success on all levels.
You know, I know Lloyd's been thinking about doing this for years, and you know, Lloyd has been the longest serving owner in the OJHL, and I think it's great for him and his wife Carol, and it's a great rink and it's a great facility. They've done a great job here, and we're just looking forward to it tonight.
And I looked at my schedule. I had an off night, so not a bad drive out, just the traffic to worry about, so it's fun to come out and watch the kids play. It's always great to be in an arena, and a lot of the age group I know. My son's the same age, so it's a great age group to watch.
What do you think these guys are going through, and what kind of jitters will they be feeling tonight, do you think?
Well, it's fun. It's a different type of all-star game when you're playing junior ones, because it's a prospect game where they know they're getting looked at. They want to show well, so it's just a matter of getting out, working hard, and good things will happen.
It's so important for these young guys. They've got some great touches here in this Mississauga arena. Banners up with all the players on, a really, really nice touch. Of all the years I've been following the OJHL, Alex, right back from the old Hamilton Kilties, this is the first time I've had a chance to come to the Top Prospects Game, and it certainly is a big thrill for the guys. They know what's on the line, and looking around in the media room just before the game and seeing the scouts, all the different places the scouts were from. Obviously, they're really going to get a good look at these people.
Yeah, you know, when we first put this on, we knew that it'd be a great venue to put a game like this on, and we want to make sure we could get a good crowd here. It's a packed house. First time I've seen a packed house in this building. There's over 200 NHL scouts in front of the kids here. But overall, I just think the players have worked so hard. They know it's an opportunity for them to shine. They're going to get in front of all of these teams and these scouts, and hopefully come draft time, their name's going to get called.
This game, it's marked on the scouting calendar, and every team is represented here. We do a good job of identifying the top prospects. The NHL clubs count on us to help them in that regard, and it's good to bring them all to one site here. These kids have the opportunity to showcase a little bit more of their individual skills, because they're not bound to play by the team system or play by their assignment. So they're encouraged, if they get a chance to score, they get a chance to make the plays, go for that little bit more high-risk plays.
20 CJHL players were recently listed in the NHL midterm draft rankings, the highest being the OJHL's Jack McBain, who's predicted to go in the first round. Naturally, he was drawing a lot of attention from the scouts on Tuesday.
Jack can play that size-strength game. He protects the puck very well, and when he's going hard on the play, he's a very difficult guy to check. He's got really good hockey sense, and he's got a good finishing ability. He showed at the Canada U18 camp that when he plays with some of the top players across the country there, he can really mesh and really make a line click. So we've got him in a range where we're telling the NHL clubs this is a good spot to think about him.
For Jack, however, the night ended prematurely. After watching Oakville Blades defenseman Matthew Kellenberger get hammered into the boards in the third period, McBain jumped in to defend his teammate and was ejected. Before that, however, he showed off the skill set scouts have come to expect, and his fellow OJHLers got a chance to strut their stuff in the highest profile game of the season.
I don't know. I mean, I thought we played a pretty good game, honestly. The boys competed really hard for 60 minutes. Things got a little messy there at the end when we got into a couple penalty troubles, but that happens. Emotions are obviously high, but I think everyone represented themselves really well. And I mean, you know, I mean, not the result we want, but the boys worked hard, so that's what matters.
Team West won the contest 5-2, but the score was secondary to the exposure the game provided to the draft-eligible players on an evening they'll never forget.
Yeah, obviously it's pretty nerve-wracking knowing everybody's around, but I think the nerves kind of excite me personally. You just got to try to show what you got, but play in the system to prove that you can. You got some of the best players in the leagues, junior leagues. I got a great group of guys on my team, and it was a lot of fun being here.
That was a great event. Okay, the top 5 brought to you by Chaos, the official hat provider to the OJHL. Number 5, Whitby's Alex Horowski on Aurora's Joseph Mitzi, flashing the leather for the great stop by the new Fury keeper. Number 4, the Patriots' Lee Lapid against Burlington. He cuts to the middle, falls to his knees here. Doesn't matter. What a shot by the Patriots sniper. Number 3, Oakville's Eric Uba with an absolute beauty here to beat Orangeville. Top shelf where mom hides the cookies, but I always found them anyway. Number 2, Braden Aubin of Markham with the unbelievable solo effort here against Cobourg. Holds off 2 Cougars defenders and tickles the twine for the Royals. Very nice. And number 1, Horowski. 2 plays in our top 5 this week. From the same game, he slides over for the grand larceny on Anthony Romano. Take a look here as the Fury keeper just gets his pad down. That is gorgeous. And that is our Chaos play of the week.
And that's all the time we've got for this week. But just remember to keep up to date with the OJHL, all your news, stats, standings, and stories, you can always head to ojhl.ca. And of course, you've got all your social media options to check out there as well. Thanks for tuning in, folks. We'll see you next week.